to put Rex, Arigum, Kion back against the wall. They did do it very well early on. Could this be the start of the end for RRQ? Let us go into game number 2, match 1. Team Flash going up against RRQ.
Oh yeah, I kind of called it. TM Flash is going to choose to play on the blue side, so they are going to be pretty much taking over this. Well, like I said, you know, seeing that they managed to pick up that Z here, I want to see how to try to play that compared to how like RRQ did when they played their round with the Z in the middle. This time around, though, they're not going to have to deal too much in the mid there because like, things obviously changed around a bit. But let's see how it plays out anyway. Viper, Exosen, again, going to be on that Dragon lane here, facing off against Ellie and MT. I'm going to want to see whether or not Viper will be able to make full use of that Corki's new change here. Because again, with the magic damage being much more better for Corki's side, he's going to have a better time against more tankier heroes this time around. So certainly going to be a bigger threat for anyone who decides to try to get up into his face, that's for sure.
All right, so we're going to be seeing quite a bit of love taps here from Coyote. Received by Helios over to the bot side. We might see an engage here. MC getting in. Could go for the dredge line here. Ellie now getting as much damage as can. Now Ellie as well as MC here. Gonna be quite a bit of more damage variety across the board though.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
something we have to highlight as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's now they have to diversify their damage a little bit because they know they cannot rely just very strongly on one type of damage here, knowing that how things can turn out in the late game. You know, you definitely want to have options by that point there, especially if your opponents decide to build up more magic immunity. What do you do at that point, right? So let's see, RRQ almost having a little bit of a moment there. Zaisu tries to move in the gang but can't quite find the right timing to jump onto Helios that time though. So
bot side, unless jungle intervention comes in.
Oh. See, Helios gonna get caught up now, and I think he's not gonna be able to get away with it that time.
I said it. There it is.
Fiora picking up that first blood there for Team Flash. So RRQ again find themselves in a rather familiar situation here. But let's see if they're gonna be able to pick it up from this point on. But what's for sure is that TF is gonna be able to extend this advantage however they could, because they still have a lot of control in these lanes. They have a lot of presence there as well. And it seems like Team Flash is gonna try to play the same playbook they had early on, which was to take the lead and try to maintain it for the rest of the game.
All right, Team Flash seems to be
here, because if RRQ can get that, that's going to be extra, some extra damage they could definitely use at this point here. So it looks like they will focus on it in front of Drake. Kent's kind of steal there, but it's going to get surrounded there. Coyote is, and RRQ still gets Drake anyway. So there's a bit of a sacrifice. It wasn't quite needed for the Zed, but nevertheless, though, they will get the Rift Herald in return. So perhaps they could try to go for some pushes here. But what's for certain, though, is that RRQ, knowing that they have already lost out that early fight, want to at least use this in front of Drake and hopefully convert that to some extra kills.
I like what Viper did actually. Immediately when Coyote got taken down, he was going to go towards mid side, get as much pressure as he can, try to deny as much minion score towards Coyote here. I mean, the more goal you deny Coyote, the later it is for him to be able to get his itemization done and dusted. So for what Team Flash is doing, I do think that the disadvantages that came because they were able to mitigate it with the Herald pickup. So it is going to give a little bit more pressure depending on how you put the... Oh, wait, but before that, no, Zissou. Oh. Zissou just flashes out of dodge. Doesn't want anything to do with Exosen and Chaz.
Oh my god, he just went for the grab, and then RQ thought it could catch him napping, but nope. Just able to slip away in the nick of time there. So bit of an attempt by RQ. But Team Flash still able to hold their own. But at this point now, I think things are going to slow down massively until the next drag comes out. Because it feels like these teams, they're more focused on that late game. They're more focused on trying to maintain their scaling here, especially for Coyote and for RQ side, especially for Chaz and
Viper. Losing out a little bit of pressure onto top side. For Team Flash, they were able to gain at least 2 turrets across the board, but we're going to be seeing a fight here. Depth charge comes out.
Yeah, he's managed to get a knock up here, and Hyde gets picked off as quickly as he showed up to the scene here, as Team Flash there had a really good rotation from River, and that allowed them pretty much to nail that kill. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really change that much for Team Flash. I mean, we already knew they were ahead, and this is just going to further amplify the problems here for RQ in that top lane, because now they're going to be a little bit weaker in that sense. Oh, Coyote going to get targeted upon here, but it looks like we got cancelled out at the last moment there, so thought might be a attempt to jump on him. And Coyote, no, he's still aiming to try to get into the top lane here as Ellie and Empty attempt to try to start a fight, drawing out Exorcist and Chaz. They are able to keep them away from the turret. They're waiting for Coyote to come in. Oh, but that blast forces them back, and that's going to delay them a little bit. They are able to come back into the fight, though, but it might be a little bit too late, though, as Chaz still able to jump around. Still, they do take down Chaz in the end, but it could have been a lot better there. Unfortunately, RRQ is still holding their own in these fights, and they want to try to keep this turret up. Team Flash now rolling in there. They're going to try aiming on Exorcist, who's been weak in the back line there, but no! The Fiora gets picked up by Viper. The Corky coming back in to get the kills done onto Empty, and Empty getting caught out in the river by Helios, and that's going to be another kill. What looked like was going to be a turret take has ended up becoming a 3-man wipeout here on the side of the Vietnamese squad.
Team Flash dropping it in the flash of an eye. I do not believe it. RRQ turned it around really well. What worked in that? The specific thing was Exocen setting up that explosive cast beautifully right into Chaz.
Can't really do anything at that point there. It's this, and that one pickup is now going to open up the opportunity for them to take this Drake here. TF is still going to be having to wait for Ellie for the next 15 seconds, so whatever fight they want to do is going to be pretty much a 5v4, as now TF are able to isolate one on the Rexton. Now they're going to try to aim in onto the other two there that's on the Drake. They managed to pick up one. Can they get a second one? Oh, it's looking really, really close. RRQ are able to flip it around now and going to be turning the tables pretty much, and the Wukong gets taken out because of that. So TF, even though they were able to bring up the fights, still were not quite able to get a good trade here off of RRQ because they're still behind in kills.
Ellie there. Gonna go up against Chaz, gonna try to get the binding off, will not be able to get the poke. A lot of it really revolves around the fact that Chaz has so much explosive power here. His mobility that comes in with his evolved wings, being able to come in, it refreshes as soon as he gets a kill, is really paramount in the ability for for RRQ to deny Team Flash. As soon as Ellie is out of the way, the window of opportunity for RRQ gets bigger and bigger and bigger, enough to fit the whole team.
Yes.
One by one, you see Chaz just open up the floodgates for RRQ, and Team Flash just get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They can't get out because their hand is stuck inside there, and RRQ takes advantage of it.
Exactly. I mean, that's why RRQ has just been aiming Ellie a lot, especially the opening of these fights, because they know that once it's out of the way, Chaz can definitely reign supreme in those fights. So now, I mean,
very
how
wise
the
choice
tables, right?
from the side of RRQ not to be able to fight this out. They immediately take down the Herald, and there's going to be a fight here.
Yeah, they're going to try to get on the way. Viper just going to be focused on double knock up there, and they're going to try to isolate Viper, but they still have to watch over Helios. He's still doing a lot of damage there. Takes out Sisu on the Fiora, and then now they're attempting to try to bring another one back here, but Shy had to burn out all of his health there, and unfortunately Corky falls as well. RRQ just turning it around and net another wipe here. In fact, it's going to be a team wipe completely, as no members of Team Flash are to be found anywhere on this map.
Did Team Flash forget their bug spray? Because Chaz is running amok. As soon as you see them commit to the fight, RRQ immediately aware of the fact that Chaz, all he needs to do is get to the back line, blow them up. There is no bug spray, there is no bug repellent. One by one, RRQ swats them down, and it's going to open up a Baron, and looks like Pondo is just going to be enjoying himself. If this keeps up, we might not need a game 3.
Might not even need to call the exterminators anymore, because the Bugs is already pretty much overrun this game here. RRQ gets the Baron, and it's going to compound the problem now for Team Flash, because economically speaking, they are completely in the red right now. And Team Flash, this is going to be such a hard game from this point on. Even though they do have towers up, I don't think those towers will stay for much longer, especially on that bottom lane here, because once RRQ decides to turn it up, and when they do, I think it's going to be pretty much a red tidal wave headed towards their way on Team Flash's side.
The fiscal advantage,
but still,
is that
enough to force them
RRQ,
back into base.
they're playing around the priority over to the bot side. The fact that they do have the Baron in play as well. Actually, Baron already done for RRQ. We're going to be seeing a big fight here. Zissou in a little bit of trouble. We're going to be seeing MT in the middle of it all, trying to root down one. It seems that it's going to be more and more. Deathmark has come out. We're going to be seeing RRQ right now slowly but surely trying to take it away. But nope, the melted down has been out. It's going to be TF now. In a lot of trouble. Double kill going over towards the side of Chaz. Chaz. Chaz going over 1 by 1. Bug Spray almost getting it out, but no, he will be able to revive because of the Guardian Angel. We do see 1 by 1. Another time for the side of TF to be able to get back the control, but the turnaround is not going to work out in favor of the side of TF. RRQ closing it out with the shutdown, but it seems that it's not going to be enough. Ellie, the last surviving member, will not be able to stop this dominant display of aggression by RRQ, Victor.
My goodness, even all the shielding in the world couldn't help TF because RRQ's damage is just way too high. Just look at that, melting down Ellie like he was made of paper mache and melting down the Nexus in equal fashion as well. What a turnaround here. RRQ wins back this round, making it a 1-for-1.